Hello, welcome back to the Clear Blue Sky box. It's me, Clear Blue Skies, also known as Edmund Lewry, or vice versa. This is vlog number 4. I think we're on 4 now, which is not bad. Is that wait? Is this really number 4? It is number 4, so that's a month of doing this. That's cool. I didn't really think about that. Maybe I should have a think about what I did in this last month. That's quite cool. Right, so the week. The week went okay. I thought it was going to go a lot worse, but it went okay. A lot of my time this week was spent at work, which is kind of meh. I did a lot of overtime this week, and it more than I expected. So, and when I was home, I was pretty tired. So I didn't get very much done during most of the week at all. In fact, until Friday, I hadn't really done anything of my tasks. I had worked a bit towards my Udemy course for game composition. More on that later because that went really well this week. But as far as the week goes, most of the time went towards the end, or most of the time that went into things was Saturday and Sunday. And I was pretty happy. I'm glad I scaled things down. I did get through most of what I wanted to achieve, and that's good. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I committed to what I usually commit to, so it was good that I scaled things down at the start of the week. What else did I want to say? I don't think I really had anything specific. I did. One of the things about this week, before we get into what I actually did, was that I felt that my time, or it was getting to the point where I feel like I'm going through the motions a little bit. And I don't want that to be what I end up doing with all my time. There's no point setting yourself a bunch of tasks all the time and then not tasks to learn things or to practice, and then the act of doing the task becomes what you focus on, and not the act of learning. Like, the tasks are just there as a structure to promote learning. So if you put learning aside to complete the structure, you're not doing what you wanted to do in the first place. And I find that if I go through things like that tends to be where I sort of end up. So I'm trying to be very mindful of that. And I went back to my to-do list, or not my to-do list, my goals for the year, just a little while ago, to see, like half an hour ago, to see how I was doing, and reframe everything with that those goals in mind, rather than just sort of going just going through the motions of everything. So I'll talk a bit about that when as part of establishing next week's goals. But let's have a look at what I'm doing, or what I did last week, and what I'll be doing next week. So nailed it in one transition this time. This is how you know it's week 4. We're improving. All right, so I thought it was going to look a lot worse. We came out okay. So right now we're recording the vlog. Hey. So I'll mark that off right this second. Live progress. And then I'll go from the bottom up. So Andres managed to finish the final ticket in the our game project, and it's pretty cool. I'm not going to show anything yet because next phase is the phase for doing for showing it outside of just me and him. We're still prototyping, and we do it whenever we have time outside of work and life. So it's a little bit slow going at the moment, but we really want to, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, we want to ramp it up. But that went in, that was fine, and now you can play the game from start to finish, and it's pretty cool. There's not much to it, but at least you can play it, or at least we can play it. So we're meeting up on Thursday to plan out the next phase, which is all going to be a lot of aesthetic stuff, which we do not usually get to because we're both programmers by trade. So usually the nice to look at stuff goes by the wayside. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, so that happened. I did draw my 5 pictures for the week, and I'll show you those now. Let me switch back to my main camera. Okay, so here's 3 of those. These 2. Oh, no. These 2. Where's the camera? This one and this one. They're characters from like a. I tried to design like a little like a guerrilla style virtual band thing. I had pictures of them somewhere else before. I need to dig those out, the original sketches out, but I was just trying to redo those things. That was pretty fun. And then these two are a little more ugly, but I was pushing myself outside of my comfort zone a little bit more. And you can see I took notes on what went wrong. So yeah, it's going to be slow going. I think that's going to be my hardest thing. I did try to use actual reference for I only got to use reference for one of those, but yeah, we'll see. More of that to come. I want to do a little bit more focus on art over the next week or two, and we'll come on to how I'm going to structure that in a bit. But yeah, I got the drawing done, and my hand continues to get, the lines are becoming neater, things like that. So it's not bad. It's just slow progress. I'm trying to really appreciate slow progress at the moment. Here's the big one of the week. Oh no, switch back to the thing. You can't see what I'm talking about. Oh, wrong thing. That's for later. Oh, don't look. Oh, what is that? Oh yeah, high quality stuff. You can tell it's week 4. All right. Here's the cool thing. Is I completed section 5 of the Udemy game composition course I was doing. Section 5, I can't remember if I said it last week, but it's to do a character theme. And I chose the image from an artist who I chose an illustration from Twitter to be the inspiration for the character, or for the character theme. And I finished the theme, which was awesome. It was really fun. I did mastering and mixing for the first time. It was the first time I've ever tried to do like a rock style track. It's a little bit repetitive and it's a little bit unimaginative, but it's the second full track I've produced or created, and it came out. I was really happy with it. It took up a lot of my week, which is another thing that actually I might as well talk about it now. Is that one thing I noticed was that I've been naturally doing music things first. I've been doing music composition course. My piano practice went okay this week. I did have to sideline it a bit, but whenever I had a spare chance, I was doing piano practice. I was doing some singing practice because that's what I do a lot of anyway. So I'm always leaning back towards music, and I'm wondering if that's a thing I should pay attention to. Yeah, so that's, I'm going to keep an eye on that, but it was really fun. I put the piece on to SoundCloud, and I also let the artist know that her work had inspired the piece, and she let me credit her and use the piece for the track art on SoundCloud. So go check it out. Look at the link on SoundCloud. I'll link it in the description for the video, and find the artist as well. I'll play the track at the end of this video as well. It's a little bit too invasive to use as background music, but I'll play it towards the end. But yeah, go check it out on SoundCloud. Go check out her art. Yeah, I was really happy with that though. She seemed to like it, so that was cool. Models. I did do models this week. We did. This is all from. Oh, this is a birch tree, an attempt at a birch tree. The leaves aren't quite right, but I was okay with the branching. I learned how to use the knife cut with this, and that was good. And I managed to do the ground without referencing a tutorial. I'm really feeling like I'm beginning to learn the hotkeys and things like that, so I feel like I'm improving there. This is the end of that Lars Mazaka terrain tutorial, and then this is the start of a new tutorial attempting to do low poly characters, rigging, animation, all that stuff, and that's what I really want to move on to next. And then my programming tasks, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, everyone. This came very much last, and I swapped out a bunch of it. I had planned to do a lot of cracking the coding interview stuff, but I swapped it all out for some OpenGL 1 work, and I'm glad I did. One of the things in line with going through the motions is that I don't want to just do work for the sake of doing work, if you see what I mean. I do the cracking the coding, or the reason I'm supposed to be doing the cracking the coding interview things is because it's basic algorithms and I should be learning that stuff. But to be honest, a lot of what I spend my time doing is pushing it to the back until I eventually get to just knocking it out on a Sunday morning or a Saturday evening ahead of the video to make sure that I've done it. Which, I mean, it's all coding practice, but it's not leading me anywhere, and I know how to code. That's not an issue. I need to be learning, or I want to be applying that stuff to creating things and learning through doing. So I swapped it all out for some OpenGL stuff, and that was fun. And I've already accidentally shown you, but I'll show you what I've got. Yeah, so some spinning stuff, which is written using OpenGL 1, immediate mode, which is where you just specify the individual vertices and they make up vertices and colors, and they make up your shapes. So that was fun, and I'm glad that it feels like it's a little bit more forward moving than the cracking the coding interview things. Ooh, wrong windows. Ooh, that wasn't supposed to do that. Trello doesn't like it when I click buttons. Okay. Right, so but I did get to the end of that. Yeah, and I did learn some things, so that's good. I'm glad I decided against just filling it with cracking the coding interview things, which I wasn't enjoying, and I'm not really learning anything specific from it. I am going to do some more of it this week, but I'm going to focus on actually producing stuff with my programming rather than just doing exercises in a book, essentially. The other thing I did was I prepared the next, along with Androids, prepared the next Infigment Arc blog post that will be coming out in the next couple days. One of the things I tried to do and didn't get to do, I didn't read any of my game engine architecture book. There just wasn't time. It's too dense, and I had too much other stuff to get through along with the overtime. So I just didn't get to it. I'm going to reschedule that for. I'm not going to say this week. I don't think I'll get through all of it this week. 30 pages, and I'll come on to what my week is like. But I'm going to push that to a 2-week goal, just because I don't want to essentially come back to this next Sunday and say, no, I did like 10 pages. If I've got 2 weeks to do it, then that'll be a lot more time. So I'll push that back. The vlog post, I'll edit and post that after this. OpenGL 3, what a pain in the butt. So every time I try to install new graphics drivers, my laptop just dies. It looks like I'm going to have to push this one back until I get a new hardware, basically. I might try that again at some point in the future, but it's just a waste of my time right now. I did get some suggestions from people from friends who suggested working with WebGL or the Raspberry Pi equivalent. I can't remember what it's called right now, but yeah, there's one that you can work with the Raspberry Pi, and I do have a Raspberry Pi, so I could do that. Would be a good use of it. So I might pick that stuff up, but at the moment I'm just concerned about learning the actual concepts behind graphics development. So I'm happy with doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to actually push that into my to-do list again right at the bottom here. Right. So it went okay. I was surprised when it did go okay, but it did. All right, so on to the next week. So there's one more blog post for Infigment Arc to do before we move on to the next milestone. So we'll want to have that done by Wednesday night. I also want to start finding some reference images for farms, because the game is a farming / gardening game. So I want to start finding reference for that for the art side of things, for the aesthetics, so we can start creating stuff, because that's going to be a lot of what the next phase is. I'm also going to be meeting up with Andres to discuss and plan that on Thursday night. Now, onto my tasks for the week. I've pulled my model work down to just one model, and the reason for that is because I really want to. I'm worried that I don't want to just create small things. Like I've noticed myself looking for small things so that I can fit 3 of them into the week. So I'm not learning as much, because I'm explicitly looking for things that are like 20-30 minutes so I can model something and then move on to the next model. And I have learned some stuff out of that, but I don't want the task to stop myself from learning. So I know that I'm going to need to learn rigging and texturing for the next phase of the game with Andres. So I'm going to commit to rigging and texturing one model, and I'll be completing the tutorial that I found for that character model. So that's good. Same thing with pictures, drawings. Again, I've been sidelining things to try and get through 5, when really now I feel like I want to spend time improving or tackling hard things, deliberately going after things that will take me more time so that they can take me less time in the future. So I think I'm going to be doing some figure drawing, things like that, to try and improve those skills and get my art to be a bit better. So I'm just doing 2 pictures this week, but they should be with reference. Going to end up doing the same thing with my Udemy course. The next piece is an 8-bit piece. It's got about 12 videos. So in theory, I might be able to get it done this week, but I think it's more likely to be over the next 2 weeks. I've been really enjoying game composition, so I expect I'll work on that. So hopefully have a new track for you next Sunday. We've already discussed the game architecture and my programming tasks. I've tried to split this up to be a little bit more versatile. So a few of them these 3 are OpenGL tutorials. I have kept a cracking the coding interview task, because I do want to keep my algorithms knowledge up. And then I also, a while ago, started a VR Unity world, a little world project, side project thing. And I've sort of put it aside for this whole thing, but I'd really like to use the knowledge I've been getting from programming tasks to actually move things along. So I want to do sort of, when you click, the character should, or yourself, the avatar should move through the world to where you click. So I'm going to try and implement that in the VR application this week. It's C#, and I've last week I did that extra task to learn more about C#. So hopefully that should be pretty easy in theory, easy-ish. I'll keep it simple. No pathfinding or anything. It'll just be go to that point. Okay, I think it's been a bit of a long video, but I think that's everything that I wanted to show today and to talk about. The week is going to be a little bit busy socially, so my evenings are going to be fairly taken up, but I've got back my lunch times, and I've got a few days where I'm not doing stuff in the evenings, so there should be enough time to do all that stuff that I want to do. Yeah, okay, I think that's everything. Have a great day. stay productive or not productive, whatever you want. Have a great day, and listen to this track that's on next. Bye.